universities are teaching us stupid nonsense, you are stupid. Or just an absolute coward, because you can't stand up to the big scientist when he tells you that what about the fossil evidence? Alright, losers.
Oh, hi. I missed a couple of weeks there, and now I'm back, not filmed. And that's not out of laziness, as you'll know if you saw my community post or my Patreon post. But I'll explain it quickly here too, because it explains why I'm not filmed now and why I won't be filmed for a while. So, a little bit more than a month ago, I started having these issues where I would get intense pain that felt like it was in my back and upper abdomen. I couldn't place it very precisely because it felt like it radiated everywhere. And gradually that started getting more and more common, to the point where now I have, at minimum, a strong ache there all the time. And then occasionally the more intense pain like before. I sleep like crap, my brain feels very slow, I really can't do anything much useful, sitting here making a video sucks. Anyway, over the past couple of weeks I did a bunch of tests. They do a lot of different tests when you have these kind of issues. I got all my organs looked at with an ultrasound, I got my heart checked, got checked for ulcer bacteria, blood test, urine test. I guess it's kind of good in a way, I get a thorough health checkup. But anyway, I have a 2.6 centimeter gallstone stuck in the neck of my gallbladder. I'm on the wait list for surgery, but because it hasn't yet developed into acute cholecystitis, where I'll start getting fevers and puking and jaundice, I'm not that high on the list. So I might be stuck like this for a while, assuming it doesn't advance to that far more unpleasant state where it becomes really dangerous and turns into an emergency surgery situation. So yeah, I've been really tired, in pain, dumb-brained, and in the period where I really didn't know what was going on, I was also just really stressed out. I was like, man, this could be something really bad. Honestly, it's a relief to know it's just a gallstone. Relatively minor surgery and it's over with, whenever that happens. So everybody please have a bit of patience with me. Supporters, don't worry, everything's gonna get done. I'm not gonna film videos though, not during this period. But although I'm behind on videos, I am gonna get all the videos done. I don't just forget about these things. I've been pissing myself off dwelling on the fact that I'm so behind for weeks now. You know, I take this stuff really seriously. If I don't keep my supporters happy, I'm toast. You guys are what keeps this boat afloat, so I'm loaded up on ibuprofen. Luckily, I already got some of this video done before the issues got too bad. So here I am being productive. Anyway, I started with basically the outro of her video because it makes for a good hook. But let's start at the start, shall we?
Welcome to your free university class.
Whoa, wow. I know you don't mean literally, but even to say something like that non-literally shows that you have a really high opinion of what you're doing here. So I guess set your expectations accordingly, everyone. I know I have. This better be good.
Your free university class. God exists and it's obvious.
What's the course number? Is this a 100 level we're talking about? Or is this really serious 400 level stuff? I need to know what I'm getting myself into.
Every day I'm going to choose some random topic from this textbook.
Campbell Biology. Okay, so at least we are sticking around the 100 level. Good, we wouldn't want this to go over everybody's head when you tell us that thing's complicated and then make googly eyes. Which, recall, that's basically all she did last time.
It's a first-year university textbook. Biology 8th edition by Campbell and Rees.
8th edition, so like 2008, 2009, early 2010s, would be the years where this was used in universities. I assume you've had that gathering dust on your shelf for a while. I'm not trying to say anything about it, it's perfectly adequate for your purposes. You can make the googly eyes just as well with this as anything else. I guess I just focus on these details for no apparent reason. I don't understand why I do anything, ever, really. So?
Concept 6.6. The cytoskeleton is a network of fibers that organizes structures and activities of the cell.
Have you read this before? The way you read that didn't give me confidence.
So we're going to go to page 112.
So you didn't consider that maybe you should open the book to that page before you started the camera? Or if not that, at least put in a bookmark. The pacing is just awful. Oh, come on, you're looking at the page right now. Just look at the part you want to talk about and talk about it. Or cut this out. I know I always harp on people who don't edit their videos, but why don't people edit their videos? Seriously. If you have gaps like this, there's no point keeping them. I wouldn't keep your gaps in the video either, if not for the fact that I find them funny.
No.
Actually, that one wasn't even funny. That was just long and boring. I should have cut that one out, but I didn't. What does that say about me? Oh no.
Here's a cell.
No, that's a whiteboard.
That's a cell.
Oh, that's the cell. Top tier cell. Beautiful. Gorgeous. I got a bunch of cells look exactly like that. It's like photorealistic. Look, like this one here. Yeah? Or this one over here. And, actually just those two. Stupid biology textbook. I slightly shake my head in disappointment with you. Wait, we're moving on to another page? So you flip to page 112, you spend some time looking at it, you realize that the cell is drawn roughly circular, you turn around, you draw a circle on the whiteboard, and that's all you needed from page 112, just to be reminded to draw a circle. Next page, what are we going to get from this? Never mind, we're flipping back. I guess the next page didn't have what you needed. Maybe it was on page 112 after all. The level of planning on display here is incredible.
You have things inside the cell.
Ooh, cell things. That's interesting, but I have a question about it. Are the cell things on page 112 or 113? What role exactly is page 113 playing here? It's crucial that I understand this before we continue.
You have a nucleus.
Wow, you know, if you didn't tell me, I might have even guessed that that was supposed to be the nucleus. That's how good it is. When you finally learn this material and are able to do this without the book, that'll be really impressive. As it is, though, I'm not entirely convinced that you've ever laid eyes on this book before now. You got a little studying to do before the unassisted test.
And you have other, what are called organelles.
Yeah, double check. Make sure you know just what those are supposed to look like. You're gonna want to get this right. This is university, okay? This information's gonna be important. You don't want to mislead people.
And throughout the cell, you've got a network of fibers.
Oh, all right then, never mind. We're not drawing the organelles, so there was really no purpose mentioning that. So you've drawn an extremely sloppy grid pattern, which I have to say is very disappointing considering the quality of your circles. Regardless of their quality, though, I have no idea what they're supposed to represent. Cells don't have grid lines.
They're called fibers.
They look like that? A 90-degree grid through the whole cell? That doesn't seem like a thing.
But they're actually bridges.
I see. Seems like they should be called bridges then.
That bridge together different parts of the cell.
Okay, so it's a grid of bridges. You know, there's something about this that rubs me the wrong way, and I think what it is the 90-degree intersections. A big grid all throughout the cell of bridges intersecting at right angles. It doesn't seem that plausible. And then you take a break to look at the book again, to remind yourself what you're supposed to be talking about. You know what? I think that's a good idea. I think we would get much more clarity if we go straight to the source here. So here's the page you're looking at in the book. The cytoskeleton is a network of fibers that organizes structures and activities in the cell. Okay, they are fibers, but that's not like what they're called. It's just a description of what they are. I think what you're trying to draw here are specifically what are called microtubules and microfilaments. Now, of course, the grid as you draw it is not at all what we're dealing with here, but I guess I can at least kind of see what you're going for. Now, the primary function of these fibers comprising the cytoskeleton is structural. They help to maintain the shape of the cell. The microtubules provide the compression strength, and the microfilaments provide the tensile strength. But additionally, the microtubules and even microfilaments provide structures that organelles with motor proteins can move along. So that's where your bridge analogy is coming from, which is fine. Tracks might be even better, which is the analogy that actually shows up in the book. Anyway, now we're less confused, I think. Good to have that out of the way. Let's move on.
So the things can move along the bridges.
Very dramatic delivery for something very not dramatic. If I had eyes behind my glasses, I too would blink. What are we blinking about?
Let me say that again.
You don't have to.
You have bridges.
Believe it or not, I remember you saying that. Why are you saying it again?
all across the cell that bridge together. They're little highways.
I guess I like highways better than bridges, too. Yeah, there's a lot of imagery I would go to before bridges. Again, it's not terrible, there's just obviously better options.
That bridge together different parts of the cell.
Hello? You alright? We still doing the video?
There's a...
Yeah, I feel the same way. We can just stop if you want. It'd be a little short, I guess, but that might be for the best.
There's something called motor proteins that attach to receptors on vesicles.
Well, vesicles. You know, I don't really feel like I'm getting value for my money out of this university class, and it was free. Now you're just kind of reading random stuff out of the book at me, poorly, as if you've never read it before. I can read poorly as if I've never read something before, too. I do it all the time. It's like one of the top 10 things I'm known for. But I don't start my videos saying I'm giving a free university class.
Because you have little bags of stuff. As the cell makes things. It makes things like hormones and... There's different stuff. And the motor proteins can literally walk across this.
Cool, I'm basically ready to go work in the lab now. There's stuff, and there's bags of stuff, and something hormones, and there's stuff, and motor proteins can walk on the thing. Okay, everybody understand? Everybody following? This is gonna be on the test. I'm right there with you. Whatever that expression is, I'm feeling the same thing at least 5 times over.
You're telling me this happened by blind processes without an intelligent mind?
Well, I didn't tell you that, but if you insist, then yes. Gee, sorry. What did you want me to say?
Are you serious?
I think. Do you not think so? What do you think I am?
Then my parents were like, why does she cuss on YouTube? Are you serious?
Oh, you set it up so well and then you didn't follow through. Are you fucking serious, Mom? The fucking Darwinists don't think God done it. Why do you think I cuss? In case you don't remember, here's what she said the last time.
Further evidence that evolution is fucking stupid. I'm trying to be polite because I think my mom actually watches my videos. She told me not to cuss. And I'm like, Mama, but they're fucking Darwinists. I need to cuss at the fucking Darwinists. You really want me to believe that this happened through random trial and error plus natural selection?
Well, I don't really care, actually. What do you believe? I mean, you're fun for a video, but go do whatever you want. I'm pretty sure, though, the people who wrote that book you're quoting out of were very aware of all of this, and also accept the power of natural selection to produce things like this. You're trying to imply that an understanding of this material and that belief are incompatible with each other, but all you've done so far to try to establish that is make a funny face and go, "Are you serious?" Which is making it kind of hard for me to see your side of this issue. Just like in the other video I covered, you're literally not making an argument, unless we're counting "are you serious" as an actual premise. Cells have a cytoskeleton. Are you serious? Therefore, God did it. I'm sorry, but I cannot call that an argument.
Don't be like, oh, it's not trial and error. Yes, it is. That's what random mutations and natural selections is. Trial and error.
Okay, I mean, it's a pretty crude way of putting it, but sure. And if error means that you drop out of the gene pool, and otherwise you don't, that's going to have very significant effects over time. You're saying trial and error as a term of derision, as if that would imply that whatever process is described as trial and error, therefore does nothing, and is not going to lead to significant changes over time, when that's obviously false. That's why we have the term trial and error at all. It refers to a type of process that we know, from experience, can achieve significant results. Yes, it might be kind of wasteful, but it works.
Are you telling me that this was put together by blind processes?
Well, blind in the sense of not having literal sense perception, but not in the sense of just flailing around at random, having random outcomes because it's lacking some sort of a connection to the reality of what's around it, right? It doesn't disregard what the thing is that's being selected. The process, of course, doesn't see in any literal sense, but it does see which outcomes are successful, in a way. There is a way in which the results of certain outcomes feed back into the process to affect its future actions, in a similar way to how your senses do with your future actions. That way being that unsuccessful outcomes have no further effect, and successful ones maybe will. Just as your senses, your sight for example, are a way of linking your actions to reality, survival and death, reproductive success and failure, by interaction of the organisms with reality, are the link of selection to reality, making it non-arbitrary, non-random. The process is driven by some kind of input regarding the state of reality, which has a powerful effect on how it proceeds, which is a very strong metaphorical way in which it is not blind. Okay, geez, sorry again.
I mean, you're free to believe whatever you want. Don't teach that nonsense at university.
Oh, I see. So it's not just that you're putting on a university class, it's that you're putting on a better, more informed university class. You're showing those stupid universities how it's done. I don't know, I think based on what I'm seeing, if I decide to go to university, I might stick with the normal ones. But thanks for letting me audit the class, I suppose.
Random trial and error and natural selection came up with a bridge that bridges together different organelles.
You know, when you put it that way, it sounds distinctly less impressive than you probably mean for it to. Random trial and error produced a bridge? A hard, long thing that goes from one place to a different place? Whoa, that's crazy. I mean, you're not even talking about the origin of the motor proteins that the organelles have. If anything, that would be the impressive part, but that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about this. I think if you wanted to make this kind of non-argument, the idea you had in the other video of doing it about the eye was a lot more effective.
And then you wonder why the world is so messed up.
Well, more what I'm wondering is how opinions on the origin of the cytoskeleton cause the world to be messed up.
If the most intelligent people in society go to university, pay money to get told that the most brilliant technology in the universe.
The cytoskeleton is the most brilliant technology in the universe? I can think of at least a few competitors, come on.
Was put together by random trial and error and natural selection.
Okay, I'm still not understanding how that's somehow the obvious explanation for why the world is messed up. Unless all you mean by the world being messed up is that people accept evolution. Like, you're not even really saying this is a contributing factor or something. You're saying, you wonder why the world is messed up? But universities teach evolution. You're proposing it as like the singular thing that's responsible for all the problems. At least that's what it sounds like to me. What is the argument for this? The same argument as for everything else, probably.
By mistake.
No, not by mistake. Natural selection is not a mistake, nor is random mutation. A mistake implies somebody screwing up. If mistakes happen, that implies intentional design. That term has no applicability here.
A bridge formed. And then natural selection selected for it.
Well, that's a very misleading way to put it, because it could be taken to mean that the cytoskeleton was just kind of there from one generation to the next. It just formed, as if it itself was not also the product of a long, gradual process of selection. It's not selection acting on the bridge or the cytoskeleton that's leading to the cytoskeleton. At least not for most of its history, until it gets to the point where you would already classify it as a cytoskeleton, at which point it's mostly just details, leading to the modern cytoskeleton, as it is now.
Are you serious?
About what? The weird misrepresentative stuff that you said? Well, no, you said that. If anyone's serious about that, it's going to be you, not me.
You know, if you weren't serious, it would be better.
Oh, good then. Seems like everybody's happy.
This was put together by an intelligent mind.
Buh! Blink, 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 blink. Are you serious? And then you wonder why the world is so messed up. Yeah, nothing to say to that, huh? That's because it's airtight argumentation. It's as tight as air.
Or It wasn't put together by an intelligent mind.
Oh, cool. Maybe my awesome arguments are convincing you. It was inevitable, really. They're clearly arguments that you find convincing.
I'm just stupid.
Hey, whoa, don't beat yourself up about it. Just say that you're wrong and move on. It's okay. There, see, yeah. I'm glad you're cheering up.
Okay. That's all for today. Look up the cytoskeleton.
Okay, well, I did, sort of. I read like 3 pages out of that book about it. But there's no argument for your position there. There's no argument for evolution either. There's no argument for any position on origins. It just talks about what the thing is and how it works. Looking up this topic has literally no relevance to this conversation. Like, everybody understands organisms have different biological structures. Biological things happen. That's not where the disagreement is, so how is looking this up going to help resolve it? Use your brain.
That's all for today, class.
Well, clearly that's not true, considering that we're still more than 2 minutes from the end of your video. So what else is there, Professor?
You're dismissed.
No, when you go, I'll go.
Now go and do something intelligent. Like pray to the God who made that. And be like, God, that's freaking genius. Can you help fix my life?
God, your cytoskeleton idea is freaking genius, bro. My life doesn't have one of them, though. So if an organelle shows up in my life wanting to waddle along its microtubules with its motor proteins, I'm screwed. Help me out here, smart guy.
See you tomorrow, class.
Oh, you're leaving? What am I going to do here for the rest of the video, then? Are you going to make me sit here staring at your chair?
Or in another 10 minutes, whenever I feel like making a class.
I must say the scheduling at this university seems highly unprofessional.
And show up.
You see, that's why you schedule things properly in advance, is so I can do that. If I leave now and go home and you put on another class in 10 minutes just because you feel like it, I'm gonna miss the class. What do you expect? It's like you're trying to set up your students for failure here. Unless this is some sort of a learning exercise about how to deal with unpredictable bosses. But still, that's not really what I signed up for.
Because this has implications for the world.
It doesn't really seem to have that many implications for the world. Like in a day-to-day life kind of way, or a political kind of way, or even a religious kind of way, really. Its implications seem very narrow at best.
If God really does exist, and our universities are teaching us stupid nonsense. It's not the word I wanted to use.
What word did you want to use?
I wanted to use the S word.
The S word? What's the S word? Is it stupid? Because you already said that one.
But there are children here watching.
I don't think there are. Why would a child watch this? Do kids even watch YouTube? I think they're on TikTok now. Go ahead, be a bit naughty. Say any S word you want.
Children who apparently can handle being told that no one cared enough about them to make them.
That is a really disingenuous framing. Nobody cared enough about you to make you. It's not that nobody made you in this particular way, because that's just not how things work, regardless of how much anyone cares about anything, but rather nobody made you because nobody cared enough about you. It takes a simple idea about where people come from and turns it into some kind of negative commentary on the level of concern shown by a parent, or potential parent, I guess. The one who could have made you its child but didn't want to, as opposed to your actual parents who did, who apparently don't matter here one bit. It takes a value-neutral, non-judgmental statement about how you are a biological being and turns it into some sort of painful emotional revelation that you're a neglected child of some parent who it kind of implies is there, but cares so little about you that they didn't even bother bringing you into existence in the first place. And so nobody, natural selection, had to step up and do it instead. The someone didn't care about you, so the only one who cared about you enough to make you was the no one. The fact that you originated biologically is not just a simple fact, but rather a consequence of God's neglect, because if God cared about you at all, he would have bothered to do it himself. It's this incredibly self-referential theistic thinking applied to a domain where it just doesn't apply. And yet somehow that makes sense to you because you're so steeped in it, that the idea of thinking about an idea that is not intrinsically theistic itself, in non-intrinsically theistic terms, doesn't even occur to you. You're trying to talk about this view in these emotional terms that come from a totally different separate view, and so make no sense when you apply them in this way.
No, there's random mutations in natural selection. But they might find the S word offensive.
By the way, children don't usually find the word shit offensive. It's the parents who find it offensive on their behalf. Parents such as your parents, who told you to stop cussing in your videos, and who I would assume all of this is a backhanded swipe at. They probably told you, hey, kids watch YouTube, stop saying the S word and stuff. Maybe you should work this out with them in private, instead of vaguely airing your grievances in public.
Because this S that comes out of the other end of my body, that's offensive.
I mean, I would rather not think about it. I don't really appreciate you putting that thought in my head. I'm already feeling nauseous enough from my health issues. I don't need you adding to it.
But saying that God didn't make this is not offensive?
Well, it might be offensive to you, but that's your weakness. It's a legitimate viewpoint honestly held. To anyone with any social resilience whatsoever, it's no more offensive than saying God did do it. Disagree, call it stupid, do whatever you want. That's a pretty natural reaction to hearing something you strongly disagree with, that you don't see as justified. But it's really funny that you call it offensive, as if you've been insulted by someone just not immediately agreeing with everything you think.
And shouldn't be offensive?
Shouldn't, not really the issue. But I do think it's reasonable to find it a bit pathetic when people don't at least have a thicker skin than that.
If you actually believe that, you are stupid.
See, you're saying that in some sort of a weird attempt to, insult me into agreeing with you. But the problem is I don't care. For one thing, that doesn't establish the truth of what you're saying. And for another thing, I don't respect you, so there's no sting to it. So instead, try a new technique. Try making some sort of a point at all. If there's any path to success for this stupid shit, that's where it is.
Or just an absolute coward, because you can't stand up to the big scientist when he tells you that what about the fossil evidence?
Fossil evidence for the cytoskeleton? Oh, for evolution in general, right. So this is a reason that people actually believe it, is it? You said if you actually believe that, you're either stupid or a coward who won't stand up to the big scary scientist. But if you're a coward who won't stand up to the scientist, that implies there's something you want to stand up to the scientist about, and you're just too scared to, which means you don't actually believe it. You forgot what you were talking about in the middle of the sentence.
Alright, losers.
Why is this your entire catalog of arguments? Just making sneering faces and snorting noises, calling people stupid and cowards. You haven't made any points other than against your parents about how they told you to stop swearing in your videos. You haven't meaningfully talked about the actual subject at all.
Have a good day. Or don't.
Alright, I will and or won't do that. Same to you, and also not.
You probably deserve to have a bad day.
Whoa, got him. You almost stopped the camera, but you realized, no, I got a real winner here I gotta put in at the end. Good, wouldn't have wanted to leave that one out.
If you fail to attribute this to the one who made you. Bye-bye.
Okay, I don't know how many times you've ended the video at this point, but this is the real one for once. So this time, yes, bye-bye. And the same to everyone else. Thanks for watching, and as usual, huge thanks to all of my supporters. I have recently found some issues with the way that my tiers were set up on Patreon that I wasn't aware of. So I fixed that stuff. If you've tried to sign up in the past and you found it annoying or weird, or like the default tiers were way too high, that's because they were. I didn't know that. I fixed that now, so it's more normal. In any case, thanks everybody, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.